Mike. Welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Well, let's take a look at where I'm standing right now. Current blood sugar is sitting at 9.5. I have 9.15 units of active insulin. I just had lunch and gave 7.55 units of insulin. Oops, sorry, you cheated there. So this is plus the 7.55 units. So that's total active. I had less at that point. So all in all, it's looking fairly good. My doctor would like me in between 8 and 10, so we're all pretty happy with that. Time in range, as we briefly saw before, is 76% time in range. 24% is still above 10. Personally, I'd like to see that come down a bit. I went up in the middle of the night, about 2 in the morning, I went up to about 10. And then by morning, I was down to 6. That's without me doing any intervention. I'm 76, time in range, which is all pretty good. I would like to see it all within range, but my doctor isn't too happy with that. Below, this is a win. Below 3.9, we're at 0%. Average sugar in millimoles is 8.1. So it's all a good day. It's not a supercalifragilistic day, but it's a good day. Today, I want to do a check-in with you. It's been a while since we've done a check-in, and I really would like to sit down with you, discuss what's happening with me, what the doctors here want to do with my diabetes. And it would cause a major change in the way I control my diabetes. So sit back, relax, and we'll be right back. Okay, I had a meeting with the doctor, and what they want to do is really take me, take me off the pump because I'm not doing it right. And we've been on the pump. We went on to the pump because of my care before on needles was all over the place. Even when I was in the hospital, my care was bizarre. I'd be having lows one day, highs the next, okay, blood. It was just totally bizarre. And that was doing shots 4 times a day. And here, their basic philosophy is higher is better than lower. And last month they tracked it, and I did have a few more lows than I've had in the past. That has nothing to do with what they think. They're thinking I'm giving more carbs than, or counting more carbs than I need, so that I'm sort of sabotaging. I think what they're thinking here is all these blue lines, which are correction, is the pump giving me correction to bring down my number. And I think they're thinking that that's me giving correction all the time. I don't know. Says if I don't straighten up and stop taking extra insulin, they're going to take away the pump. I got a little upset with him and I said, hell no. Just because I know that the way my life was before, and all of a sudden they're going to be able to give me shots and control my insulin to be the best. This has been the best control we've had. And when I moved in here, he said to me that, this is my doctor here, you're one of the worst diabetics I've ever seen. And he thinks, well, we'll control it with just giving shots and sliding scale, and everything will just be perfect. Well, we did that before, and this is better. And he doesn't like that I'm self-medicating, and that's a big thing. He's been a doctor who's treated maybe one or two diabetics, type 1s. But he hasn't treated a brittle diabetic. And even a nurse, a couple of nurses said, well, why don't you let us do it? And I said, because I've been through that whole life, and it's not something I'm willing to give up. I don't want to go through. You think I'm bad now? What's going to happen? I'm going to talk with my diabetic nurse next Wednesday, the 25th here, and we're going to go over things with that. I don't know, but I'm praying I can keep the pump. I think I have the backing of both my diabetic nurse and my endocrinologist. But that's where we sit at here. And I'm not sabotaging. I don't play games. I've heard of complications with kidneys, eyes, nerves. Why would I be playing around? I'm 61 years old. Why would I be playing around with diabetes? I think it's totally crazy and shouldn't be allowed if I was doing it. I'm not doing it though. And I think a lot of times we worry that a change it, but I don't want to go back to shots 4 times a day, being unstable. Well, we'll control all your medication and we'll do it better than you can. And no, this has done it better. And why should I have to go, because it's their policy that they give all medications? And no, I'm not going to go back to shooting 4 times a day, doing their blood sugars 4 times a day, because if the pump goes, I'll lose my sensor. And that's something I'm not willing to give up. They'll come back and they'll poke my finger 4 times a day. They'll come up in the middle of the night. Oh, I want to see what your blood sugar is. I'm sorry, this is really got me angry. And it's something they don't understand. And they think, well, you're on the pump. You shouldn't have to do anything else. You just plug the pump in, let it do, and it controls everything perfectly. Well, for me, it doesn't control things perfectly. Even with the pump, you still have to do work. It allows to give a constant stream of insulin that mimics what your pancreas does, and then it gives you short bursts, which can be mimicked by multiple injections. I know in most people it can. It can't in mine. I was so adamant about this that last time I had DKA, I went into, I call it Surrey Hospital. It wasn't Surrey Hospital because it was across the Fraser River from where I used to live. That was Surrey Hospital. It's Abbotsford Hospital. The doctor in critical care wanted to put me on shots and send me home with needles again. And I had to fight and argue with him about keeping me on the pump. Luckily, we succeeded and came back. He was getting the same concerns there, but it's always, I have to prove myself. I'll tell you a story. When I was in the hospital for 9 months, they thought, he's going high, he's going low. He must be playing around with his insulin. So we're going to put him in high acuity, and their high acuity is you're in a glass wall, and you take anything you take, it can be seen by anyone on the ward. And that, they put me in there thinking, oh, well, yes, he's taking insulin. He has to be taking insulin. They watched me like a hawk for a month. And I didn't take insulin, but I was still going off the charts. So I don't think going to shots 4 times a day is going to be the answer. Currently, right now, with the pump, I'm start the day off between 6 to 8. I go up to about 10, just over 10, 12. I'm like that for mostly the early afternoon. And about 3 or 4, I'll drop, itchy nose. I'll come down, and then just before bed, I'll shoot up, and then I'll come down again. And then all night, I'm fine. With the exception of last night, it went up to 10, but. So that's where we stand now. He wrote my diabetic nurse, which we're going to have a discussion about this. And I don't know how that's going to go, whether she agrees that I have to give up the pump. But I'm not sabotaging. and I don't think I should have to give out the pump. And I don't think they will do a better job controlling my diabetes. There's been many doctors who have tried. Miraculously, they're going to come up with the answer. I almost did it, but I didn't. So, with that, I hope this was informative to you in case any of you are going through the same battles. So, I hope you enjoy your rest of the day. Have a great day, and we'll talk later. Bye now. My email address is Mike's Diabetes World at gmail.com. All one line. Drop me